because it keeps him quiet. So parents really need to know that from the beginning, they've got to encourage kids to persevere, to stick with things, because kids are giving up. So, for instance, if a child is given a task to do, he needs to finish it before he gets something else to do. He can't, for instance, start a jigsaw puzzle. Oh, mommy, it's hard. And then mommy gives himself something else to play with. Because that lack of perseverance, that opting out, refusing to take challenges, wanting help all the time, it's the key factor to children not doing well, where they're very dependent on somebody always being there to help them. So that is a big problem. And just very quickly, how do we get kids to start reading? You know, we used to do with the kids. For instance, if they wanted to watch, let's say, Hawaii 5-0, they had to go and read up about Hawaii. They had to find Hawaii on a map. We had a big war map. They had to go and find Hawaii, read up about Hawaii, what the capital is, see the little buildings they might identify in the show. Disney, you know, how many kids know who Walt Disney was? Go and read up about him before you can watch. And we're not doing that. So they need, because they start learning that they can actually get more information from reading than watching. But we just plonk them in front of the screen without them earning that privilege. Because remember, TV, these devices are huge privileges. Kids need to earn those privileges and not believe that it's a right.
And what are some of the mistakes that parents make when it comes to not parenting their kids properly?
They do too much for their kids. They're doing far too much for their kids. You know, from an early age, the kids, you know, there's so much that kids can do. Kids aren't saying please, aren't saying thank you. Mommy's doing everything for them. You know, when the kids come into my room, as an example, I've got a bowl of sweets in diamonds. You know, they're easy to open wrappers. The kids whisper to their mom, they want a sweet. When the mom asks me, I say, no, the child's got to ask. You won't believe how many kids won't ask. But at the end of the day, they don't get. But eventually, they might ask. And what do? They give the sweet to their mom. I had one the other day. And the little boy, I said to the little boy, what are you doing? He says, I can't open it. He was sick. I said, well, put it back. He opened it in 2 seconds. What does he do with the wrapper? He gives it to mom. There's a dustbin right next door to him. Now, those are little examples that this is what parents are doing. They're not getting their kids to do anything for themselves. So parents have got to work at it. If a child can do something, he must. If you can eat with a knife and fork, he must. If you can say please and thank you, he must. If you can put on his shoes, he must. If you can read one sentence, you've got to read a second sentence with effort. So we've got to encourage kids to become more independent and try, rather than, mommy, please help me with my maths, and they haven't opened the maths, haven't even looked at the problem. And what's happening today is kids don't even have to listen, because a lot of them are going to school knowing that when they come home, somebody's going to help them. So they don't even engage because they've got mommy or an au pair or somebody helping them with their work. So we're actually encouraging kids to be helpless without even realizing it. We've got to get them to want to go to school, to enjoy learning. We can only do that by not helping them to become more independent and become more motivated so that they can take on life and not protect them so much, because this is what we're tending to do. We're keeping them safe rather than equipping them to take on life.
And from what age do we start implementing these techniques?
Right from, you must remember, everything a child does is a choice. People say to me, but when do kids start making choices? Well, at 10 months old, when they cry, pick them up and they stop crying, they've made a choice. 1-year-olds understand a lot. So, but you just got to know how to do it without having to shout. Because the moment you start shouting, there's a problem. So a 2-year-old is a lot they can, you know, and they've got to understand that if they watch TV, they've got to sit and watch. They can't just demand. There's got to be a calm boundary. Parents have to set boundaries. They can't allow kids to jump on their bed, jump on the furniture. They've got to learn what's right and what's wrong from an early age. So from 1-year-old, they're understanding something. So if they want something, they don't just grab it, like for instance sweets, they've got to say tar or something like that. In other words, we've got to, not this instant gratification. We've got to teach kids, for instance, there's so many kids that whine. If they whine, sorry, I can't hear you. You want to go and practice in your room and then come and ask me properly? or ask me properly now. And so many kids in speech. So 1-year-olds definitely know boundaries. You can't allow 1-year-old to run around your lounge and you've got a lot of expensive things there and they're getting angry when he breaks a vase. So that 1-year-old can only be allowed to play in a little playroom or in their bedroom. Not run around the house, not climb on the kitchen counter. Have boundaries and have consistency and routine so that kids know what follows. We can't just be inconsistent because that's a big problem. One day we're allowed to have a glass of milk, the next day we don't allow it. One day you can stay in the bar for half an hour, the next day he's got to get out in 5 minutes. So there's got to be a calmness in the home with boundaries, consistency, where parents empower themselves to know how to stay calm. Because the moment you're screaming and shouting, it creates huge problems with the kids. They become very insecure and they act out.
And parents should also start teaching them young how to do chores, how to pack away their toys, how to throw away sweet wrappers or whatever it is that they've been given. Because I mean, if the child opens it and starts giving it to the parent to throw it away, the child is going to grow up that way, grow up thinking that somebody else is always going to clean up after you.
That's exactly what you just said. For instance, if they leave toys lying around, you say, don't you want the toy? If they don't put it away, it means that they're saying to you, I don't want my toy, and you take it away. But you're not cross. They'll learn very quickly. But then kids don't take consequences today. They just get shouted at, and then they get their own way. And then parents bang heads with kids. You don't bang heads with kids, or give them a long lecture. I mean, those long lectures. You ask any little 3-year-old what his mommy said after a 5-minute lecture, they don't have a clue. So even being good, they don't really understand. They just know that they've got to know how to manipulate mom. It's really, and marriage is a taking strain because kids are ripping families apart. And this COVID, you've seen the increase in child abuse and gender-based violence. It's all because we don't know how to parent and we're only human beings. And you've got a house full of kids that are going wild. How do you survive? There's been something wrong. So just as an example, a parent guides a child to adulthood, equipping them with skills. Our barometer is the child's reaction. So if you've got a little 4 or 5-year-old that just whines, back chats, only wants his own way, refuses to eat this food or that food, we're doing something wrong. To try and understand why, what is happening that this kid is making these choices. Because he's not brain damaged, they know what they want to do. And that's what parents don't understand. And the tendency today is to take the kid out and have the child assess and they leave the parent right out of the loop. It's just crazy. I liken it to baking. Bake a cake, the kids are the ingredients. When things go wrong with the cake, we don't send the cake off to some therapist to see what's wrong with the cake without looking at the baker. And this is what we're not doing. And it's getting worse because there's just too many big kids being assessed, over-assessed, not doing well at school, and the parents are being sidelined. And then they're talking too much on their cell phone. They're not doing the job of parenting. They're not always around. They're allowing the kids a huge amount of leeway just to keep them quiet. And it's a big problem.
And it starts at home as well, because I mean, it's pointless as a parent to blame teachers when the parents are not doing much at home either. Dr. Ken, quickly tell us about the Smart Choice Parenting Program and how people can get involved.
Thanks. Look, it's quite unique. I developed it. It's based on very sound theory. And what makes it very different to any other parenting program out there, what I did find by doing research is that virtually all parenting programs are the evidence-based ones, try and equip parents with the skills to deal with the child's behavior. What makes this program different, it helps parents understand that it's the way we parent that creates the problem, from ADHD through all those so-called disorders that kids have. So the program equips parents with the skills to know how to maintain their authority, know how to stay calm, know how to create boundaries, how to make it the child's problem. In other words, don't shout at a kid. If a kid makes a bad choice, the child needs to own the problem. But you've got to know how to do it. If I can quickly give you an example. A child doesn't want to eat their food. Well, strange choice. They don't have to eat their food, but it just means they play in their room. They get hungry later. Kitchen's closed. You calm, he can cry, but he chose not to have his food. It's as simple as that. And they accept it, and it's quite amazing how that works. The next day, all you got to do is when he wakes up and say, listen, I just want to know, my boy, are you going to have supper tonight, or would you rather play in your room? They will have supper. So we've got to know that we've got to follow through its consequences. We've got to preempt little rules. We've got to get the kids buy-in, and then we've got to follow through. And if you know, and if you've preempted and negotiated and carried through the consequences, you can stay calm. And staying calm is the key. Because kids will never know what parents are. They never understand why. Their world is a very small world. They have no idea. When a parent said, no, you can play in the lounge, but be careful. And they knock over the bars. What is the fuss? When mom goes mad, it's just a piece of glass to a child. So it's all of these things that parents need to take the responsibility. It's the biggest job in the world. And unfortunately, nobody's helping parents, and it's got nothing to do with blaming. And we've also got to understand that daddy and mommy are parents. They've got to be on the same page. They can't have dad sitting on the side and just giving mom all the work, and then criticizing mom when the kids are out of hand. So the whole program equips the parents to work on the same page, to know how to stay calm, to install structures where the kids feel safe, where they have responsibility, where they've got to earn privileges, and there's a whole structure that does it, and it works. And I think that is and it works quickly. So there's no long-term therapy. There's no having to look at a kid for 6 months. There's none of that. So the program really has been quite unique, and we're busy really trying to get it out there because we're getting amazing results. The website is smartchoiceparenting.co.za. One word, Smart Choice Parenting. And my email is ken@kensway.co.za. If people want to contact me, I'm very happy. And my cell number is 082-449-0335. Very happy to take calls.
All right. So thank you so much for your time, Dr. Ken, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you. And thanks once again for inviting you too. Thank you.
All right. All right, that was Dr. Ken Resnick, an educational psychologist and founder of the Smart Choice Parenting Program. If you would like to know more about this parenting program, perhaps if you'd like to know how to handle your kids better, the website is smartchoiceparenting.co.za. All one word, no spaces, no gaps, no full stops, no commas, no exclamation marks. It's smartchoiceparenting.co.za. And you can call Dr. Ken on 082-449-0335, 082-449-0335. And also, if you would like to send us your comments, questions, queries, or suggestions, our WhatsApp line is open. The number is 061-766-0355. And you can also call me in studio. Call us in studio on 010-880-2396. Yes, guys, I am in studio. All right, just stay with us. We will be right back after the break.
Connect and stay ahead with Salam Media. This is Salam Media, coming to you live from South Africa.
Osman's Taj Mahal Spice and Rice. For over